today I'm going to talk about the current state of the market and 3 ways that I made millions of coins during the market crash yesterday. So the first thing to talk about is all of the new players that came out yesterday, and oh my gosh, there is a ton of incredible players. Of course, we got the new Rivals event, we got new Rivals icons, and we got Team 2 of the Rule Breakers event, which brought about insane cards. So let's first go through the Rivals players. We have Modric here, who's going for 105 million. Price is not justified, I don't think. 96 passing, 95 dribbling with decent pace and shooting stats. But of course, he has tons of traits. He's also 4-star, 5-star, has 4-star weak foot, all around a great player. Now, is he worth 105 million? I personally don't think so. And this is going to be a trend that we're going to talk about throughout the video because I feel like with every new release, we're seeing crazier and crazier prices for cards that sometimes are valued at a price that they really shouldn't be valued at. Now, to be fair, this is common with every new release. People are paying extra money to get the cards early, but from the standpoint of someone who's doing this free to play or is someone who's trying to be a little bit more careful with their coins, I would definitely not buy these players right at release. The other player is Mo Salah, who is going for 104 as well. Looks like all of these players are pretty much capped at that, but I think he is a little bit more justified. He's probably, I would say, an 80 to 90 million coin player, maybe 100. 95 pace, 92 shooting, 94 dribbling. That is crazy. Highest rated right wing in the game. And of course, everybody loves Mo Salah, so it's the perfect card. And to stay along the trend of the highest rated players, we also have Araujo, who has pretty good stats. I mean, 93 defending, 95 physical with decent pace. He's up at 80 million. We have Hernandez, who is the first player to have a base 100 plus rated stat, if I'm not mistaken. 102 pace. His card looks insane. He's also going for about 80 million coins. Barella is one of the best all-round center mids in the game stat-wise. He's going for about 70 million. Valverde is going for about 60. Once again, he may have the second best all-round stats next to Hullet in the game. But all of these players here, as you can see, is a trend. They're all going for the 35 to 40 million. Goretzka is a player that I think people are going to sleep on. He's going for 26 million. But I think he has arguably some of the best stats in the entire game, especially as a center defensive mid. But as you can see here, most of the cards are in the 20 to 40 million coin range, with the big ones going for the 70s plus. And a really huge card is the Sun from the new Star Pass, going for 47 million. I mean, it's worth it. I already bought the Star Pass, but 91 pace, 92 shooting, 87 dribbling is broken. So the prices on these cards are insane. But let's also look quickly at the icons. We have the new Cannavaro, who's going for 80 million. Once again, very good stats. This one might be worth it. 96 defending, 89 physical. We also have Xavi, who I don't think he's really worth the price because aside from his 94 passing and 93 dribbling, he's got a 3-star weak foot. I think he got 3-star skill moves, 4-star skill moves. Not too bad, but he's not strong, not tall, so not the most ideal. The one that's more worth it is probably Kaká. Great stats, and he's going for the 40 million coin mark. And then from the Rule Breakers event, there's only 4 that I actually picked out that I thought were worth looking at. We have Pedri here at 80 million. Very good stats. Now, we also have to remember that the player's overall rating does play a part in the price because there's not many 94 rated center mids in the game. And so for the people who are going for really high rated teams for Versattack, and now that we know with the new content and gameplay update, higher ratings are going to matter more in manager mode, people are definitely going to want to build 95 to 100 overall teams. And these are the guys you'll need for it. Declan Rice at CDM, once again going for 80 mil. Decent stats, but I think Goretzka is considerably better than him. We have Sterling, who's going for about 80 mil again. You could see a trend here. Great stats for Sterling, 94 overall. And probably what's going to end up being one of the quote-unquote sleepers here is Darwin Nunez. 95 pace, 90 shooting, 81 dribbling, 89 physical. He might be an absolute beast in game. 6'2", bad skill moves, bad weak foot, but he also has speed dribbler and he has high work rates. He might be an absolute beast. But with that being said, what we could see here is there is a trend of a lot of the, let's say 92 or 93 to 94 rated players are all going for about 65 to 80 million coins. The 95s are going for 100 plus, and then the 90, let's say 91 to 93s that are very good, but aren't as in high demand are going for the 25 to 35 million coin range. And yes, once again, this makes this event the most expensive event that we have seen to date, which is to be expected. The final guy here is Puskas, 105 million once again. I mean, pretty good stats. Very good stats. So the prices of these players is flying, and I think it's going to keep around the value A lot of the guys who are at the 78 million right now might trickle up to the low 80s. The guys who were in the 30s might trickle up to 40s. We might see that kind of movement there, but I think after about 5 to 7 days, like we saw with the Team 1 of Rule Breakers, I think the prices are going to come back down. Because 80 million coins for a card like Declan Rice, Sterling, or Pedri is a lot when you consider that you can go out and with those same coins buy, let's say, a Ronaldo and a Maldini, or a Hullet, Maldini, and a great squad around them. Personally, I don't think there's really any comparison, especially considering that some of these older cards like Hullet and Maldini actually still have better stats than the majority of the new cards that come out. So I don't think these guys are going to hold at the 70, 80 million. I think a lot of them are going to come down to the 50 million coin mark, maybe 60, we will see. But what happened yesterday, because of all of these beautiful cards in game, let's be real, great card arts, very good stats overall. Because of all this, it meant that everybody's coins shifted from the current players in the game, which for example was the Mbappes, the Ronaldos, Maldinis, Hullets, Puskas, and they shifted all those coins over to these big players and the exchanges. So what that meant was we saw a huge market crash yesterday for these guys. Hullet went all the way down to 30 million coins from 38, 40 a day or two before. But of course it did not last long. He swung right back up. I thought it could take about a day for the swing to happen, right back up to his regular pricing, but it actually only started 4 hours after the event came out. He crashed for about 3-4 hours, and then right after that, people started buying up at 30 and moved forward, and I actually bought 3 copies at 31.2. And that's because I think he's going to get back up to 38. Because for the people who can't afford to spend 70 million on, let's say, a Valverde, they're going to be like, okay, he's got good stats, he's cool, he's a cool card, but I could just go and spend half the coins on Hullet and get a card with crazy stats. I think that's what's happening right now. I also think people who sold off their cards thinking they could buy these new players or would get some of these new players and didn't are now having to buy back their players before. So I think we're getting a combination of all of that. Another example of that is Maldini. Now, this is going to be a big regret of mine. Maldini dropped down to 26 million yesterday. He might have gone even further overnight. I had to sleep at some point, but he dropped down to 26. He had like 100 people trying to sell him. I could have bought 10 copies of him and I didn't, and now he's up to 32.7. That's because I thought I could wake up this morning and he may be at like 25. I don't know why I thought that, but he's very quickly swung right back up, and I think it's for a few reasons, but the main one is just the fact that we didn't get many center backs that are 1, affordable, and 2, can beat him in stats. And to be quite frank, this is the same story that we've had for every single event. I think it's going to keep going this way for every single event going forward. If the new players are coming out and they're more affordable than the current meta players and have better stats than the current meta players, then these current meta players will go down in value. But if they aren't more affordable and they don't have better stats, which is exactly what we've had right now, these guys are going right back up. And it'll be the same thing every single time. So that is good to see, but that is going to be the first way I'm going to make coins. I bought 3 copies of Hullet at just over 31 million. I think he's going back up to 35, maybe 40. I would not be surprised if by this time next week, he's up at 40. And that's when I'm going to cash in my coins, move on to the next play. Now, the other way I make coins, as you can see here, is through selling a Bellingham. And something interesting happened yesterday that I haven't seen before, and that is in the market crash, the base versions of cards were crashing hard in value. So the 93 rated Bellingham was going for 22 million. I mean, he still pretty much is, which is sort of crazy. But at the same time, his 1 ranked up version was going for, at the time, I think it was 28, 29 million. So I saw that, thought it was interesting, and decided to go and buy a base card, rank it up with the Mascherano, and sell it for a profit. So I bought my copy for 22. That's an easy 3.2 million coins right there. As you saw, it's still somewhat viable. You could probably go buy one for 22, 23 and sell it for 29, which is interesting. But that's just something I noticed when I was looking through the markets yesterday. That's a few million coins made right there. And with that being said, let's move on to the third way that I made coins, which of course was with the exchanges. Now, as you can see, they released 3 different exchanges. I already completed the first 2 because I knew I wouldn't get anybody out of there, and I didn't. But the main reason why we're completing these exchanges is because we want to get those red tokens here. The red rivals tokens is what you need to get to Maldini. As you can see right here, in total, you're going to need 1,000 rival tokens to get the 92 Maldini. But where things become even more interesting is the fact that all of the quests here only give out blue tokens, meaning that EA have made it harder to get Maldini, easier to get Zanetti, which is why completing these exchanges are so important to do, because they give you 75 of these red tokens and they are the hardest ones to get. But with that all being said, let's complete this exchange. I would love to get Marcos Llorente. That is going to be the player I need, but I am going to complete this exchange just to get the tokens first off. By the way, walkout animation, top notch. Wait, we get Ferran Torres, right? He actually has a cracked card. He has a cracked card. So 60 red rivals tokens, 86 pace, 85 dribbling, 82 shooting for his price and for his rating. That's very good. But as you can see here, these are the three main exchanges. And of course, for the 88 to 91, I went through it a little too quick there. But you need 84 plus rated midfielders, defenders, attackers, the exact same thing we had for UCL. And we have a very similar setup for the Team of the Week player here. We might as well complete it as well. We'll go through it. The Team of the Week includes Mo Salah, Barella, a few other players. We do get a walkout, which is actually pretty good. And it's going to be a Colombian left wing. We got Diaz. Diaz is actually really good. That's a great card. 85 rated. Doesn't go for many coins, but stat-wise, 92 pace, 86 dribbling, pretty good. So these two sets of exchanges has caused the 84 rated players to go up quite a bit in value. And of course, I said yesterday that I did invest in a few hundred of them, and I wasn't going to say who it was. But if we go over to my squad here and go to 84s, you guys will see exactly who I picked up. I haven't sold them yet, but they're all going to go up in value. So I got, as you can see here, don't worry about Icardi. I packed him at some point. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Joselu. I probably butchered that. Anyways, 84 rated striker. Attackers are usually the most expensive cards when these new exchanges come out. He's currently going for 1.18 million, and I bought 25 copies at 816,000 coins. I am like 150k up on every single player, which is insane. So right away, that's 3-4 million coins. I think he's going to go even further, to be completely honest. The other player I bought was Mats Hummels. I bought him all at 214,000. He's currently going for 321. I bought about 150 Sol. He's the one I went in the most with. Actually, it might have been 200 because he had 999 plus sell quantity at 214,000. Now he's up to 309,000. And those are my biggest investments for the exchanges. All in, I think I've made 10 to 15 million, maybe getting close to 20 million, depending on where some of the prices go off of just the exchanges alone. And I think I'm going to make another maybe 10 million off of the Hullets. Now, luckily for me, I did make a similar investment on the Invest to Glory account, so I am millions of coins in the positive over there. I will show that on the next episode. But what I've showed you today are 3 great ways to make coins during a market crash. First, go into the team, check out the new players. If any of them have better stats and are cheaper than the current meta players, then definitely go and buy those players. If not, then you should be buying the players that are currently or most likely will be crashing, which are the current meta players, because they will go back up in price. And as you can see, Hullet's already at about 35. Number 2, be ready for exchanges. Someone like Nacho Fernandez was a great investment. He was at 220,000, I think, yesterday. Now he's up to 330. Something like that would have made you millions of coins. And if you're someone who has extra universal rank up tokens, check out the difference in price between the base cards and the high rated versions, and see if there are opportunities now to make some coins during the crash. All 3 are great, and I hope you guys were successful with your investments. I saw a lot of people saying they bought up 84 rated players. I hope all of you guys made millions of coins. With that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.